welcome to the Yellow Express podcast. I'm just so excited about my next guest. She's a mate of mine. We've been mates for about 15 years. Who says guys and girls can't be besties? I definitely don't say that. And as I inject myself back into the business, ready to take on big tech, I think it's important that you meet some of my mates, some of the people that have influenced me over the years, and also people that have been involved in the Yellow Express story. And boy, oh boy, this girl has more than earned the brownie stripes to be a part of the Yellow Express family. Ladies and gentlemen, Priscilla Caiza. Priscilla, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here. I love this office.
I've got to say, it's a bit difficult looking at you right now because the shine that's coming off that stone on your wedding finger.
Oh.
What's that all about?
Well, I got married.
What? You convinced? Who did you trick?
Yeah, exactly. I tricked a man called Brian.
He's a hottie.
He is.
He's a hottie.
He's definitely a good-looking man.
Yeah. You're a good-looking girl.
Thank you. So I got married 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Then met him in LA. He's actually from Atlanta, but I met him while we were both living in Los Angeles.
Now, a bit of current info is Los Angeles right now is engulfed in a huge bushfires. Looks crazy. Makes the ones that happen in Sydney look like play school. And I know you guys are in the Palisades, and in the Palisades, tell us what's happening.
The Palisades has basically been burnt to a crisp. Like what I'm seeing on the news is bits and pieces of buildings that I recognise, and everything next to it is just black. So it's really, really heartbreaking. I'm unfortunate to be in Australia while it's happening. I mean, obviously I want to be there to help whoever's there, and, you know, just to be there with the people and try and do whatever you can. It is a very, very difficult situation where no one knows what to do. There's no water.
But, mate, probably a good idea now that Brian just moves to Australia, because he gets you, obviously, okay, and he gets free healthcare.
True.
Which the Yanks don't get.
He likes the idea of free healthcare. He's actually wanting to go back and help the firefighters. I think he's really devastated.
Where did you find this man? Sounds like a real man. All girls are looking for a real man these days. That sounds like a real man. He's got quite the six-pack too.
He does.
Okay, mate, you're just ticking all the boxes. So look, that puts us in America, and that puts us also into a segue into, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I had got this great idea one day to just, I had this thought, I'd love to grow Yellow Express. We've got such a unique business here. We've got great people. We're the #1 rated company, also not only by our customers, but by also our drivers. We have a formula. And I thought to myself, yeah, let's just go and do it in America. And so I thought I'll go and do somewhere else without doing Australia first. That was my first mistake. And then I literally turned up to America on a tourist visa and a credit card, and I started my business. And the first territory we picked, I couldn't have picked a worse territory. There was 1,000 reasons why I did. Was, of all places, Miami. Now, I very quickly found out that the great thing and the only great thing about Miami is that it's close to America. That's a joke, because it is in America. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I didn't laugh hard enough.
No. That's better. Anyhow, so we started in Miami, and very quickly I needed help. And my little umbilical cord, my blankie, Priscilla, was not too far away. She was in New York. And of course, I said, Priscilla, I need help. Can you just come and turn up? And you know what? You trooper, you soldier, you turned up and you just came every day, and you were just awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
But let's dive in. Holy hell. The stories out of Miami.
It was fun. It definitely was. It was also a major learning experience, I think, on multiple levels for everyone involved.
Yeah. look, a lot of things that I take from that, I learned what not to do when I go back, and we do have plans in going back. But first, we're going to hit the Gold Coast.
Nice.
God, remember that guy that used to? We ended up renting a building. And true story. This is all on a tourist visa and a credit card. We ended up renting this building. We painted on the side of it, "Be your own boss" or something like that. And the Yanks love that stuff. Everyone wants to be a tech billionaire, or everyone wants to be their own boss in the US. And that's great. And that's cool. It's culturally their thing. And we rented this place. But remember the old guy who used to live directly out the back. He used to make these manky milkshakes and bring them to us. It's like, thanks, buddy. Oh, that was great.
I think do you have pictures of him? Surely we have a video.
I'm going to have a look at that. But speaking of videos, you produced a lot of cool little video clips. Why don't we have a look at one now? I'll get the van ready. Let's go, Morgan. Grab the cats. So we've wrapped up our move, and with our booking fee, $1 per minute and $1 per mile charge, it's come to roughly $176. How was it?
Amazing.
Nice to meet you, Morgan.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so
Have
much.
a good one. Enjoy your new apartment.
Bye.
Okay, see you later. Priscilla was really cool. She's got a great eye for marketing and all that sort of stuff. Have you been trained at that, or it just comes naturally?
Yeah, I have a marketing degree as well.
As well. Okay, we were talking before the podcast. She's now fancy. She's got a little, when you get a business card and you see someone's name, and then after that they've got little letters, and you go, ooh, that means they're intelligent and they studied things. And because I'm a high school dropout, I find that quite fascinating. Look, you were the difficulties of Miami. I very quickly found out. In fact, we found out as we turned up every day, was the amount of red tape. It was just mind-blowing, and that's something you don't expect from the United States. You get the perception that it's like
Land of the free.
Land of the free. Bullshit. Oh, mate, that was just, honestly, everything, every movement that you did, someone wanted some cash. And we couldn't even go into certain buildings. We had to get different insurance policies. It was an absolute nightmare. And look, we put on some great people over there. It was very sad to close that down. I did the right thing. I made sure I paid them all out. Everything that the advice I got then was to just bankrupt the company, and that just didn't sit well with me. I could have done it. I had nothing, I had a lot of money to lose, but I thought I'd prefer to lose the money and then put these people in a position where they were before that all happened. And so anyhow, that was a real welcome to first grade. But and Miami, I tell you what, speaking of marketing, the person that markets Miami should be top of the class, because that place is really what you think it is it?
It's not normal. It's not a normal place. It's very different. I think, obviously, we're born and raised in Australia. We know what normal is. And when you get to a place like Miami, it's so over the top. People are very, very different minded. And we were just dealing with a lot of different walks of life. And luckily, we are very flexible people, so we kind of can enjoy differences in people and how they think and their intelligence levels as well. So,
or lack of intelligence.
Sorry, I didn't want to say that.
I'll say it. Jesus. But one of the craziest stories, to this day, I still think about it, and it's just wild. First of all, Florida is it's a carry state. You can carry weapons, which, to an Australian, that's just like insanity.
It's a freak show.
Yeah, right. But also they have what's called stand your ground laws, meaning if someone confronts you, you can stand your ground, you can pull out a weapon, and if you feel threatened, you can shoot them. So with that said, we're riding in the peloton one day, okay? And there's a guy that I've ridden with 100 times. there's the peloton's full of Cubans, Venezuelans, Colombians, and a few Americans, and it's a ton of fun. And everyone, my nickname was La Kangaroo. Of course, it was not the wombat or the crocodile. So I was La Kangaroo. So I was affectionately known as that. So I would get yelled at all the time. Everyone was really nice. I was the only Aussie there for most of the time. And there was one guy in particular, he would have said hello to me. I would have ridden with him 100 times. He would have acknowledged me 50 times, didn't speak a word of English. I didn't speak a word of Spanish, which you do, which actually came in handy in Miami.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that guy got into an argument one day on the peloton with some guy on a scooter. Didn't think anything of it. We went down the road 5 miles, they pulled off on the side and continued their argument. And the way a lot of these people talk, arguing, it's the way they communicate. It's what sounds like it to me. I don't know what they're saying, but it's the equivalent of like, hey, Priscilla, how you going? You know, it seems crazy, right? By the time we came back around, the guy was dead, shot dead. And it was just a wild time in Miami. We ended up pulling up stumps and we ended up in Denver, Colorado. And that's when we started to get a couple of things right. And as far as red tape was concerned, it was a lot easier state to deal with. Mind you, I was never politically engaged. And politics is a sport in the US. They're in perpetual state of, election.
Whose side are you on?
Oh, Florida was a red state, and Republican states give the effect that, it's freedom and all that sort of stuff. Bullshit. And then you go to Denver, which is a blue state. Well, it is now, all right? And it was a lot more liberal. We were next to some sort of marijuana plant in Denver. You could smell it for free. And then you ended up coming to Denver to give us a hand as well. And I had a little bit more help. The people there were slightly more intelligent. And but we started to get a few things right. And so with that said, COVID was the ultimate enemy for Yellow Express's growth. What did you learn from your experience with me in the US with Yellow Express? Anything new that you learned?
It was nothing new that you would go and execute something like this with, a tourist visa and a credit card. So, hands down to you for just having the balls to do that. Running a business from scratch in a new country is a big deal. You have to have the right people around you, which I'm sure you learned. And just...
I can't wait to get back. I've got a plan, but go on.
Good. As far as the creative side, I had so much fun doing that. Getting people to join in, finding producers, filming. I did write a rap song it was like a 30-second rap.
Let me tell you about an opportunity. Be your own boss. Time for living free. Yes, indeed. Own your own business. That's for sure. Yellow Express can make it happen. Possibilities galore.
Yeah.
That was really good. I can't believe I remembered that.
I know. So...
all you need is a good credit score.
Yes, because credit scores in America matter so much. I think you need 650 to get a credit card or to get a loan, and that was the minimum requirement to get a loan to have the franchise with Yellow Express. So,
America, you are absolutely fullabucked if you don't have a good credit score. In fact, I'll go so far to say, mate, America's got everyone tricked. That is a third world country wearing a Gucci belt.
A fake one.
Yeah, a fake Gucci belt. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah.
So I think for me, the creative side and being a part of all that, I loved. And, the backstory to me coming to Miami was I was actually just on the end of a breakup, and when you called for this SOS, I was just like, yep, cool.
Okay, so I did you a favour.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll be there. I still would have gone regardless of, the breakup or not, but it was a really good distraction for me. So that helped me in many ways.
There you go. Good old Yellow Express.
Yes.
Mending hearts. Speaking of mending hearts, something happened to me.
Right.
Now, Priscilla, look, I mentioned before, Priscilla's got a PhD. So she got a marketing degree.
Hold on a second. Everyone's getting confused. I do not have a PhD. I'm not a doctor.
Oh, no. No, hang on. You got something in marketing?
So
What's that called?
I have a bachelor's in arts, in marketing.
Arts. They give that out for free, don't they?
No, but I did a major in marketing and communications.
Marketing communications.
I've also studied psychology and counselling.
Psychology and counselling.
So from that, and now this is going on 10 years experience, so I do executive performance and relationship counselling and coaching.
Just the person I need, just at the right time, for so many different reasons. You are the friend that just keeps giving. It's amazing. I had a bit of a rough spot roughly about a month ago.
Yeah.
And my little blankie, Priscilla, just so happened to be close by and on the phone in the same time zone, which was a real privilege. You know my personality. I don't fuck around. You know, as quick as I'll jump on a plane and go and start a business in the US with a tourist visa and a credit card, I'll say, I got a problem. How do I fix it? Let's engage the right people. Let's get the advice. Let's turn it around. Let's go, go, go. And I didn't. And I can tell you right now, it's less than a month, and I am back in the game.
He's back. You were definitely not the Justin Lewis that I knew day that I saw you.
I was a mess. Never has anything like that happened to me in my life. I even went out, thanks to our good mate, Phil Abrams. He suggested this book. It's a little brain fixer book. Now, when you're going through troubled times, okay, obviously it's the brain, isn't it? Okay. And so the brain's the same as a bicep, as a quad. And I found that as a really foundational moment in my life. I thought, you know what? I've got some serious things happening. I've got to seriously pivot here. I've got to pivot, just like you would in business. You've got to pivot. And you helped me do that. And back to this book, the first thing, I haven't read a book in 35 years. The last book I read was Mark Chopper Read. I'm now a book reader.
Oh, wow.
I'm slightly more intelligent than what I was a month ago. Phil Abrams from The Char. He's got great, we have coffees in the morning. It's normally 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. And great bloke. He owns chicken shops all around Sydney called The Char. Best chicken rolls in the game. So make sure you go down and tell Phil I sent you and he'll charge you double.
Yeah.
So he got me to read this book. I've almost finished it. I'm sort of that far into it. And I was reading so many things in there that I was like, hell yeah, that's me. That paragraph describes what I'm going through, all that sort of stuff. And it's helped me in such a way, and I'll get to you in a second, it's helped me in such a way where it's like you got a problem with your car, you go and you get the owner's manual, you read the owner's manual, go, oh, that's how you fix it. No difference. No difference. So for 35, my last book I read was Chopper, Mark Chopper Read. Half of it was probably bullshit. I couldn't read a fiction book if you paid me.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't do it.
I can't read a non-fiction book.
Priscilla to the rescue yet again. Miami, boom. Denver, boom. Brainy, boom. So talk me through that. What was your take?
Well, because I've known you for 15 years, I've seen many sides to you. I mean, I've seen how you deal with intimate relationships. I've seen how you deal with friends, with family, with work things, and just like, different things in general. So if you have a problem, and I've noticed this, and while this is a really good quality that you have, it's just like, what's the problem? I'm going to fix it. There's no sort of thinking about what could be going on possibly with the situation or with the people involved. And I think you just mentioned that with your son, is that you've never thought about what the other person is going through up until this point, and to take that into consideration, especially I think in your closest relationships. So there was also a lot of repressed things that were going on, and I think that's part of your personality. It's part of your undiagnosed ADHD that doesn't allow you to go deep into.
Am I diagnosed now? Me, ADHD?
No. So, I think this experience just taught you to slow down, to reassess things. Your body physically made you stop. And I know that because you were in so much pain and in so much agony that there was a point where, you couldn't talk. You were like physically, it was just like a visceral feeling that, there was so much pain involved. And it wasn't just the experience. It would have been everything that came before that and anything that had been untouched or untapped or, just unresolved. So, watching you go through that and everything else that unfolded, I mean, while it was heartbreaking to watch you in so much pain, it was something that you had to go through to get to the other side and be, reading a book about your brain and, watching you have that conversation with your son, and seeing how mature he is and how emotionally intelligent he is.
One of us has to be.
That, you're just learning at 53 and he's 16 years old. Yeah. So I think at this point he's going to be teaching you so many things.
Oh, mate, like I tell you right now, you want your son to be, or you want your children, I've got one son, you want your children to be better versions of yourself, and I think I've knocked that one out of the park. Well, me and his mum have anyway. And she's a great girl too. Hello to Karina. Feeling like shit ain't great, right? No. And I know people put different labels on it. I don't like to use...
vulnerable.
I don't like to use words like depression. I felt like shit. I had some work to do. We got to work and, I just don't think... and my son, and you mentioned him before, I tell you right now, he's been a massive help. He doesn't even know it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what happened, right? And sort of how things went down. I bet you're all so super curious about what happened. Not yet.
We're all dancing around.
Yeah,
the subject.
You got to just pump the brakes, guys. Pump the brakes. Priscilla, I can tell you right now, I was desperate and for just anything to help me sort of, do that sort of slow grind. And you were there and you're just always there. You're too good to me. I don't deserve you. Oh, come on, I do.
You do.
Okay. What you also do is you assist people in their relationships.
So my practice now is executive performance and interpersonal relationships. So interpersonal meaning all your relationships. So relationship, family, colleagues, intimate relationships as well, and obviously dating.
Mate, you'd have a ton of work in Los Angeles with the dating scene.
I do. Most of my clients.
Frightening, that place.
My clients are based in LA, New York, and the UK. So
yeah. I don't know. I've come a long way in the last month, and that's I can credit. I'll say at least 51% to your assistance. And I really appreciate that. I'm never going to forget it.
You're welcome.
And I can't help it. I see most things. I've got to have an end goal with almost everything I do. In fact, everything I do.
No, it's good. That's the good thing, and that's the brilliant side of you, because you have an idea, you see the end, you don't think about anything else, and you just do it.
Yeah. So and that, thank you. And I think it's I can't tell you. I'm glad all of this happened. I'm so happy.
Thank God.
I'm so happy. I'm serious. Like, I'm now a book reader. I now, sorry, can't. I was socially lazy as well. One thing that really got me, I've got so many good people around me. One of the first things I did, I hadn't been, as you know, I went through a major issue 13, 14 years ago, and it just stopped me from coming to work. And that's half the reason why I went to the US, is because Americans don't give a shit about that stuff. Mm. I one of the big things I did after I started reading the book, and I saw this challenge getting broken down to the last foundational block and just eliminating everything and going, right, we've got the foundations.
You just
now
raw.
got to put, yeah, raw bang. What do we do now? You want to build the best house, you got to start with the best foundations, right? So
Exactly.
I put the roof on last week. Literally, I'm now starting the fireplace and it's happy days, less than a month. One of the things I did, I came and I apologised to every single one of my employees to say, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been here. Every single one of them. And I was thinking, that's kind of a weird thing to do. Why should I do that? But I wanted to do it. It's a way that I never would have felt unless I had your help and this book and the circumstances and the challenge to sort of break myself down. And I came and apologised to everyone. I said, look, I have not been here in a meaningful way for over 10 years. And when I counted the days, it was 4,435 days.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to make something of that. And I said, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm back. And we're going to fuck some shit up. And I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what Yellow Express is going to be. And I know exactly how we're going to do it. And I know exactly who the enemy is. And I know who we're going to go after. And it's just going to happen. It's the clarity. Is awesome. Look, it's so exciting to sort of, have this before me, have the challenge, have such a great team internally here and on the road. I mean, Lisa, she's been with me for 29 years. Holy hell. Nicole, the new Lisa.
Nicole is amazing too.
Are you seeing a pattern here? Yeah, there is a pattern.
He picks the right people and makes them stick around.
So
Nicole, you're stuck here.
Yeah, but there is there's
definitely
a pattern. Definitely a pattern forming here. Strong women. I'm surrounding myself with strong, intelligent women, and you're all. And it's just amazing how you all enable me to do my shit. But I appreciate everything everyone does for me, and Lisa and has been with me forever. I have, even before all this, I could look at Lisa and I cuddle her, like I'm nothing without her. It's so there you go, Lisa. Bad luck. You're
stuck too.
Yeah, I'm going to subject myself to you eternally.
Can I just say, actually, with everything that you've just said and the growth that you've had in the month, you would be like a dream client for me. So taking you from a really, really low point and how quickly you accelerated and wanted to do things and changed and tried everything. I would say maybe half my clients are like that. They come to me with an issue, we figure it out, and they're on their game straight away. And then there's the other half that take a little bit longer because they still want to, be in victim mode and complain about their problem. And that's difficult to deal with.
Yeah. I'm ready to do a TED Talk.
Yeah.
In fact, true story, I'm looking for a ghostwriter. I want to write a book.
Okay.
Can we do that?
I actually think you should.
Let's do it. Oh boy, have I got some stories. Jesus Christ, have I got some stories.
Just before I wrap this up and the summary of psychoanalyzing you and what's gone on, just the house that you've built, the new house that you built, that's going to be an ongoing project for you. It's new, it's beautiful, you've got the good foundation, but now you're still decorating and putting all these things in. So just keep, and the next book that you read is going to be like beautiful door frames, and it'll just keep getting bigger and better. Then you can start, inviting people in. And
I love how you do that.
That's you work in metaphors. Most people do. So you have to visualize, what you're doing, and then it'll just happen.
Wicked. Everything you say just makes complete sense.
So you're reading a book, which is fantastic. I'm glad. It's also about your brain. Tell me, the three, the best three things that you see. This is the ADHD.
Okay, sorry.
So tell me, what's the three best things that you're going to implement into your life now that you've read this book?
To get information, to process first, and then act.
Nice.
And you kind of don't need anything other than that, because okay, maybe you do, but the three other things. You had to make it three, didn't you? Why can't it just be one? It is a 4-step solution.
Okay.
But it's also to be considerate of what other people's situations are.
So empathy.
Oh, look, I'm an empathetic guy.
I believe that.
100%.
I think you are.
You know, I hate bullies. You know, I dealt with one last year fairly successfully. Also, to rely on your friends. Like I was talking about this before. I'm quite socially lazy. You know, I don't plan things. You know, when people, I never understand why people like say, what are you doing on the 27th of something, you know, 2 months away? And I'm like, dude, I don't know, I'll probably be dead by then. Like, you know, and, but, you know, people that plan, I never do that. I'm like, I'm hungry. It's 5:30. Priscilla, what are you doing for dinner tonight? Yeah, and you've probably got something organised or whatever. So I started to work on sort of my social game. And, mate, you'd be surprised how many people, like I was a mess there for a few days. Like, you know, I would just literally, a really cool story. Went for a morning walk in Darlinghurst, went past the cop shop, and there was a police officer there. I remember his name, it was Bill, because he had it on his name tag. And I was just walking along crying, right? And he said, mate, are you all right? I said, not really. And I just started crying, right? And he was such a nice guy. He gave me a little hug. And I said, man, thanks, bud. Fist bump. Went over to the park bench, sat in the sun, continued crying. And that was a nice thing. And so I think, and I'm a big, when it comes to these things, I think these are the absolute enemy. We are relying on big tech, and I've got a huge problem with big tech companies, big rideshare companies, all that sort of stuff, these faceless corporations. People are even deciding to download a friggin' app and to pay a corporation that probably doesn't pay tax in their and contribute to their society, sends it offshore. People are downloading apps to meet people. For fuck's sake, that's insane. I won't say that. But, you know, just that alone, that whole, just that one example, to me is insane because, you know, we're losing the ability to engage with each other in a meaningful way, humans I'm talking about. And my local coffee shop, it's a perfect example of people that are still holding on to the dream of just engaging with each other in a meaningful way. I'm telling you, the same 20 people turn up at 5:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock every single morning, 7 days a week. We'd be lost without each other. And there's this great little group of people that just, we're not on our phones, we're all talking to each other. There's so much bullshit going on. Latteria, if anyone is wondering, best coffee shop in Darlow. And it's just such a great way for people to engage. And we're losing and have almost lost the ability to communicate with people. I mean, you know, with romance and people are meeting in kind of just weird ways. And you know, I don't, these are the enemy, man. And so, look, I've a lot less screen time, although I have kicked off my first Instagram thing because I have to, because we're doing this, you know, where you meet the guy who's behind the brand that's Yellow Express. That's the very long question that you asked, the three things.
So you've learnt stuff. So that
stuff has been learnt.
Good.
Stuff good. Me good.
Cool, done.
Thanks, Priscilla. You're the best.
You're welcome.
Thanks, darling.
Thank you.